Summer fun is in the air everywhere here at Summerfest in Oakdale. We'll share some of the celebration on this July edition of Local Image, and I'll share my trip to Camp Ripley, that is. The Minnesota National Guard hosted my fellow Board of Governors from the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences Upper Midwest chapter to a day trip that included a tour, a shootout, a trip to their museum, and one incredibly exhilarating ride that I won't soon forget.
These are UH-60 Blackhawk helicopters. To get a little technical, they're called the M or Mike model, which means they're one of the newer helicopters in the Army's fleet. We just received these within the last year or so. So our pilots are very excited to be flying some of the newest helicopters. They're fantastic utility helicopters that can assist not only transporting people and cargo, but they're essential to help state government in the event of wildfires. In fact, these helicopters have the capability of putting the buckets on them so that they can assist putting out forest fire. Camp Ripley being 53,000 acres, we can have up to 2 brigades training. That's about 10,000 soldiers at one time. We can house more than 10,000 here in our different billeting facilities. So it's a real practical training location that can have a lot of service members and also state agencies.
I'm here with Colonel Olson, and we've come to Camp Ripley here. Colonel, what's your role when it comes to what we're doing here today?
Well, we really wanted to make sure we showcase Camp Ripley, which is our state-owned 53,000-acre facility that not only trains the National Guard and other military forces, but also is an essential part of our state government's training. The Department of Natural Resources, the Department of Public Safety, the Department of Transportation, Corrections. This is where we gather to train to make sure that we're of assistance to the citizens of Minnesota.
So we made it to Camp Ripley. The flight was great, really smooth. My first helicopter ride, I loved it. Now we've been taken by bus to this facility where we're going to get to play some incredible video game. We'll take a look. Go inside.
And this is the engagement skills training, okay? It is used for small arms training. Okay, go ahead and stand up behind your weapon and pick it up. If you drop it, don't worry about tossing it in and get it repaired, okay? If you push it twice, magazine. Grab a magazine. Third part forward and the spring part in first. That's how you do it, okay? Both goes forward.
Well, one of the essential ways that we train our service members and our law enforcement professionals is through our simulation center. So we have an engagement skills trainer that trains the essentials and fundamentals of operating small weaponry.
One of those silver bullets right there is what it shoots, and it's actually a grenade.
Well, we just got done with the simulator, giant video game. I did okay, but it was quite challenging and a lot of fun, actually, so I can see why a lot of the military personnel enjoy that experience. So right over here is Minnesota's largest all-solar field, and soon this will be able to power up this whole Camp Ripley facility, so it's pretty impressive here, no doubt.
It'll be able to not only power the base here, but also 3,000 homes throughout Morrison County. So it's a fantastic public and private partnership with Minnesota Power to make sure that we are net zero. That means the energy that we use is created right here on base.
I think we're going to stop by the museum, which I'm told is just incredible.
And the museum is open to the public. All you need is adults need a valid driver's license or a form of identification to come through the gate, and we're just located 1 mile north of the main gate. We've been here since about 1976 when the museum was formed as a non-profit organization. So we are a 501c3 organization with the mission of preserving and protecting artifacts of Minnesota veterans and people that have served in Minnesota. We represent all branches: Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, Merchant Marines, and Coast Guard. And we have exhibits from frontier days to present day. July 22nd, we have a World War I exhibit that's opening up. I'm going to give you a quick sneak peek in the World War I exhibit.
We get a sneak peek.
So the shot that people will see when they walk in the door
Oh my gosh.
is looking at this trench that is kind of the center of the exhibit. Then you can walk around to the back side of that and look through it. But we'll have 5 or 6 audiovisual different films playing in here at this, with headsets, and it'll be a pretty good example of World War I. So now you're coming into what we call it's kind of our walk-through history. It's all self-interpretation. It's interpreted very well. Our curatorial staff is very good. They put together some good information. This is an exhibit that changes over every month. It's a featured veteran exhibit. And it's a way for us to display some of the artifacts that we have on individual Minnesotans who have served over the years.
Thanks again. Wow. That was a very cool experience. I'd love to come back here and spend some more time, and I think I will. And don't forget this cool July event that we got to take a sneak peek of. That was pretty special. But like he said in there, it's all about the stories, not just the stuff, but the stories behind all of those things that are in this museum. It's really quite remarkable. I highly recommend you come up and check it out for yourself. Glad we did. Now it's time to board the bus. We'll be going back on the helicopter.
Camp Ripley is indeed a gem. It's a premier training center for our warriors and also for our public safety official. There's really nothing like it certainly in the upper Midwest because we don't have any public highways that intersect it. We have control of the airspace over here, so we can practice with our unmanned aerial surveillance and also with our military and military helicopters. So it's a great facility in that regard.
A very special thank you to all the fine service men and women of the Minnesota National Guard at Camp Ripley, especially Ben Hoot Cooper, who serves on the Midwest Emmy Board with me. Ben is the broadcast operations manager with the Minnesota National Guard, and he helped make our visit possible. Now, it's time for a nature break, courtesy of the Oakdale Nature Preserve, where a walk along the pathways can lead you to a new forest garden.
Today we're in the Oakdale Forest Garden. It was a planting that's been done over the course of a couple different years. We've had 2 big events, one in 2014 and another one in May of 2016 to complete the forest garden. I'm Chris Larson. I'm the City of Oakdale Forester. Right now the Oakdale Forest Garden is a short walk in from the Discovery Center. The Oakdale Discovery Center is located in a 220-acre nature preserve, and a short hike in on a paved trail brings you back to the heart of Oakdale Park, and right at the heart of Oakdale Park is the Oakdale Forest Garden. This all started with a buckthorn removal event in 2009. This area was completely thick with buckthorn. So in October of 2009, volunteers removed all the buckthorn, and just the area lended itself to a great potential ecological planting, as well as an area that could invite the public in to view the ecology and the restoration that was in progress. The first Saturday of May this year, we had over 100 volunteers show up to the Oakdale Nature Preserve to come and help establish the plantings. We had 6 different polycultures. Polycultures are just assemblages of plants that mutually benefit each other. A lot of it's native plants and pollinator plants, and we had the volunteers come in a 4-hour time period with that many people. We had everything installed and watered and mulched. People will be able to come into the Oakdale Forest Garden and not only enjoy the beautiful flowers, but eventually we have some apple trees in here too to invite people in. With this year's planting, we added the triple play, which is 3 different apple trees in one clump, and we have the triple play right over there. The triple play is a Honeycrisp, the Sweet 16, and the Cortland all in one. The Oakdale Tree Board saw it as it followed our mission of combining, tree planting, building community, and also restoring one of the most vital resources of Oakdale Park. Buckthorn can actually be really attractive wood. Some of the shapes are nice, so we actually took some of the larger buckthorn from the site and different sites in the park, and we made arbors. It's just abundant with different types of birds and other wildlife, and that's all because of the different plant material, the diversity of plants. We were fortunate to partner with the Oakdale Maplewood Lions Club, and they not only volunteered their time to come out and participate in the planting, but they also provided funding. They donated a memorial bench. They donated funds to actually put in a pollinator planting just right over there, and we also partnered with the Valley Branch Watershed District. They saw the benefit of restoring not only native ecology, it's close to wetlands, but they like the community aspect. We want to create a fungal environment. Our fruiting shrubs and hardwood trees, it'll make them thrive a little bit better. They prefer a slightly acidic fungal environment for growth. Oakdale Nature Preserve is unique in the metro area. It's kind of an oasis. You can get away from a lot of the noise, not all of it, but you really lose yourself in the park. It's a hidden jewel. It's 220 acres, and you can get into, kind of forget about everything else. You feel like you're up north or in the boundary waters at different times, depending on what parts of the park you're in. It's really nice. For more information, people, if they have any questions about the Forest Garden, they could call me at 651-501-5302, and I'd be happy to answer their questions.
The volunteers that helped with the plantings and transition of that space into something beautiful that all can enjoy are to be commended for their hard work. Sometimes all it takes is the planting of a seed of an idea to grow something special for the benefit of others, and that's what some collaborators in and around White Bear Lake are doing. I found out what they're up to when I joined them up on the rooftop at Rudy's Red Eye Grill for this local image interview. Well, we're here on top of Rudy's rooftop patio, named one of the best in the Twin Cities by twincities.com, and I have with me some friends, including the owner of Rudy's, Bill Fassard, along with Carol McFarland and Jackie Reese. Congratulations, Bill.
Hey, thank you so much. It's so exciting for White Bear. Just all the others are main cities. You think of downtown Minneapolis and St. Paul, and White Bear is well represented.
And this is the 4th time that the patio has been named #1.
It is.
That's pretty impressive, and I can see why. I mean, this is a beautiful day here, and no better place to be than up on the rooftop with a nice breeze on this warm day.
In an incredible lake community.
Exactly. And we're here today with all of you to talk about a really exciting new venture. It's called the Greater White Bear Lake Community Foundation. And Carol, you're the vice chair
I
of
am.
the organization. Bill, you are the chair of the organization. And Jackie, you are the director of the organization. So, Bill, in a nutshell, what is the Greater White Bear Lake Community Foundation?
You know, it's a foundation. It really gets everyone to keep our assets here in White Bear Lake. In the past, they go elsewhere. They can go to St. Croix Valley, or can go to St. Paul Foundation, whatever, but let's keep it in White Bear. We all grew up here. We have a passion for our communities, and it's just a vehicle that really can help us keep our community going great for a long time.
Okay, and it is a fledgling organization. You're just kind of getting underway, but you want folks to really get to know what it's all about. So Carol, what else would you add? Why was it important to start this foundation?
This is a great way to unify all of those communities that share the shores of White Bear Lake, and to be able to preserve our heritage for years to come, and what we've come to enjoy about this area.
And the logo is the lakes, and that's very key because the lake connects all of these communities that are involved in the foundation. Can you tell us a little bit more about those communities?
It's Birchwood, Dellwood, Matamidi, White Bear Township, White Bear Lake. As Carol said, we all share the shores. So we think it's the lake community, and that's why the lake is central to the logo. That's our community.
So for folks to get a better understanding, what does a foundation like this enable us to do in real terms? Can you cite some examples of how you see this foundation working?
You know, I'll give an example. I had another hotel in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Central Minnesota started a foundation up there. I bought that hotel in 1985. Now that foundation's worth $100 million. Last year they gave out $6 million in grants, all in their area. And that's what we can do here in White Bear Lake as well, the Greater White Bear Lake area.
And what we're hoping to do is to tap into people's passion, as Bill said, for the lake and for this community, offer them that range of options of ways that they can contribute some of their resources for today and for tomorrow. I think it's important to know a community foundation is really set up not just for today, but for tomorrow. It's for generations to come after us. We have a great community now. Our purpose is to help sustain that community. The nonprofit organizations that are in it, the amenities that we all enjoy all the time.
Okay. And Carol, with your background with the legislature and other organizations you've been involved in, why do you see this as a very vital link in our communities?
Well, I'll tell you, when I was first approached about this, probably 12, 15 years ago, I was somewhat reluctant to get involved because I always felt it was a threat to those great community foundations and nonprofits that we have in our area. And then I realized that we are here, we can enhance that. We can make it a better thing. We can connect people, and we can use those resources together. And so it is not a threat to any other organization in town. In fact, I think we're going to complement them very well. So we can kind of help even be an umbrella that they can be under.
So that's one of the hurdles, though, to get over, is to assure people, these organizations that have already had a strong, structure here in our communities, that working together we can make this even stronger. What would you like to tell those organizations?
Well, I'd like to say that community foundations, they're all over the state of Minnesota. We have some in our neighboring communities. We're a little bit late in getting started, which makes us excited. We have a lot to catch up with. But traditionally, the community foundations have a number of roles. They offer vehicles for people to leave a legacy for their community, to make a difference in the future and now. They also offer the opportunity to make grants and help the organizations that are in town. They have a role in bringing people together to look at community issues, convening people, talking about issues, and to listen and to try and understand what the unmet needs are for the community.
Okay, so what would you want to say to businesses, other organizations out there that may not have heard that this has even started yet because it is so new? What would your call to action be?
You know, whatever the individual's passion is, if it's sailing, support sailing. If it's healthcare, support healthcare. If it's the arts, you can choose where the focus is. And there's so many different areas that need help.
Right. And I know, Jackie, you have a long history of involvement with a number of organizations, and you all do. So I would say that says a lot about the foundation, that there's a lot of well-versed people involved. How big is the board currently?
The board is 17 individuals.
Okay.
And yes, they all bring variety of experiences and expertise. It's just a dynamic group. They're all very excited about this. I think it's also important to note, because one of our main things that we'll be doing is investing assets from people. And people want to be sure that they're coming to a place where they can trust that we'll be good stewards of those assets. So we have an investment committee. It has 2 of our board members on it, but it also has 4 people from the community who have long-time professional finance and investment management experience. So we feel that the assets are going to be very well managed.
Who's leading that?
Bob Schneeweiss is from Matamidai, and he's the chair of that.
Excellent, very good. So who can be involved in the organization? Who do you want to be involved?
Anybody and everybody. There's so many people that love this community, and they want to give their time, talent, or treasure, and we can use all of those things. We would take a donor for $100 or one for $100,000 or $1 million. I mean, it's for everybody, and everybody should feel it's for the communities that share the shores of White Bear Lake.
This is just an exciting opportunity. Our mission is to enrich philanthropy and inspire philanthropy and enrich the lives of people in our community. That's what we're working for.
Well, you guys have all individually, collectively been doing that for many, many years, and all of the outreach and events that you've been involved in, so this should be no different. So we'll look forward to this growing and becoming what you envision it to be in the years to come. Congratulations.
Come be a part.
Oh, you bet.
That is the message.
Yes.
And come be a part of Rudy's Rooftop.
Oh, God, yeah. We got a Rudy Teeny waiting for you.
Woo, woo. All right, well, that is a wrap, because we got things to do, right, Bill? Thank you all so much for coming up here today and sharing this story with us. Well, we're always looking for great story ideas, and a couple of months ago, my research landed me on the Facebook page for the Minnesota Harness Racing fans. They happen to be featuring a naming contest for a racehorse. Well, I entered the contest, and as it turned out, my horse name was not the winner, but it was in the top 3, which meant I won a meet and greet and more at the racetrack operated by Running Aces Casino and Racetrack in Forest Lake. What sets Running Aces apart from other racing facilities here in Minnesota and around the country?
You know, it's such a family-friendly environment. We're a smaller facility, so it's a little bit more intimate, but it's convenient. You can see everything, you can get to every place really conveniently, and we're free admission. So it doesn't cost anything to come in, watch the races. Tuesdays we have dollar nights. You can have a $1 hot dog, a $2 beer, and have a fun night. And we had, in addition to building a trout pond, which complements racing, is that family-friendly activity. You can come, bring your kids or fish yourself, catch your fish, we'll clean and cook it for you, and you can eat it while you're watching the races.
And let's not forget, there's also some gambling.
Absolutely.
What takes place here?
So we do have blackjack, all different levels, and then Texas Hold'em. We do daily poker tournaments, live games, and then Easy Bach and Pai Gow. Just a full selection of casino games, and the best thing about ours is there's no commission or ante on any of the games, so it really sets us apart.
What's your favorite part of, especially a race day?
The excitement. There's excitement as soon as race season hits. There's new energy that's brought to the building, and it's just, they're great creatures. There's so much energy and fun, and it's just an exciting place to work.
We're inside the stable here at Running Aces, and I'm with Jessica Johnson, who is the Vice President of the Minnesota Harness Racing Association.
Yep.
And you also are the caretaker, is that the word you would use?
Yep, it is.
For Been There, Done That Hollywood. Thanks for having us out.
Absolutely, we're happy to have you.
My first time in a stable like this, and I have some tools in my hand, 2 types of brushes. One is softer for the body.
Correct.
And this one's a little more firm for this.
For the forelock and for the mane.
Forelock and mane. I'm learning things already. So just proper brushing.
Yep, just
Hollywood.
with the hair.
It's all good. It's all good. So tell me about the Harness Racing Association of Minnesota.
Sure. We are a nonprofit organization that basically just represents the horsemen, and we're like a liaison, so we work with the casino and with the state and try to make sure that we have what's best for the horsemen and looking out for them and the horses.
Okay. What are some of the key differences between maybe some of the typical racing we are used to with the jockey on the horse and harness racing? What are some of the differences?
Well, the biggest difference, I guess, is that instead of having a driver or a jockey who sits on top of the horse, there's a bike and they sit in the bike and they drive the horse. But also these horses are trotters and they're pacers, so they're never actually in the gallop. They're in the trot, which is a diagonal gait. So his left front and right hind would go together, and then the opposite. Or they pace, which means it's a lateral gait. So these two legs move together. Oh, sorry, buddy. And then the other two legs move together.
Okay, and this horse is a standard breed?
He's a standard bred, yep.
Standard bred, and what does that mean?
The standard bred is actually a thoroughbred, a Morgan, and an Arabian a long time ago bred together.
Okay.
But a standard bred is a genetic difference, which makes them able to do that lateral gait, the pace. And so if they weren't a standard bred, they can't necessarily do that.
Okay, and what makes a horse stand out in harness racing?
It has mostly two things. A lot of it's going to be breeding and how fast they can actually go, but then it also has to be how bad they want to do it.
Okay.
And so generally the horses that are older and they're still racing, it's because they love racing. They're just like a human athlete. So
right.
I consider the older ones like Brett Favre.
Oh.
You know, they never want to quit, and they only quit when they absolutely have
They
to.
have it in their blood. They just love the race. So for someone who's the driver then, what are some key things that they need? What are they doing when they're in that cart driving the bike?
They've really got a pretty big job. They need to know the horses and the drivers around them. So before the race, they read the program, and they're able to say, you know, okay, this one really likes to be in the front, but then it's no good, and so they have to decide where they're going to be in the mile at what times. And then they have to look out for all the other drivers, and they also need to rate their horse because they're not going as fast as they can the whole time. So they start out a little faster, and then they're going to slow down, and then in the home stretch they're going to go as fast as they can again.
And I was hoping I could maybe take a ride
absolutely.
in the bike and get that experience.
So we'll come out here and we'll get our jog cart, and because there's two of us, we'll use this double-seater here.
Okay.
So on a normal daily basis, we go out in what we call a jog cart, and they are these more comfortable looking carts. They have a bigger seat and they're a lot heavier with more sturdy wheels. And then when they go out to race, they use like this green cart over here, which is very light and has light wheels, and it's just it's a lot faster. There we go. And then
I forgot my boots.
That's okay, we'll wheel it over here.
Comfy.
You ready?
I am ready. A lot of power behind these horses.
Oh, they're incredibly powerful. It's really amazing.
A beautiful day for a jog.
It is a beautiful day for a jog. I always laugh. Sometimes I'll get a phone call and I'll answer it while I'm jogging, and I'll say, I'm sorry if it's hard for you to hear me. It's kind of windy.
He's getting like he wants to really let loose.
He's really excited when the horses go by training. He knows. He wants to go show those horses that he's way faster than them.
A little over a mile per race.
Yep, it's the distance that they're actually timing is exactly 1 mile.
Yeah.
But the starting car, because it's a moving start, the starting car will sit over there at a standstill, and when it's ready, it will call the horses and drivers, and they will start to come up to it, and when that happens, it will start to move, and it picks up speed all the way until that green post.
So opening day was in May.
Yes, May 17th.
And what was that like?
It was amazing. It was fantastic. We had a good amount of horses that raced on opening night, and the crowd was huge.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For the experience.
Whoa, buddy.
And I'm excited to come back here and take in a race. Thanks for the ride. You did a great job. Sorry we held him back a little bit. He wanted to really let go, but
Yeah.
Thank you for being gentle. I don't know about you, but my summer is off to a great start. A ride in a helicopter to Camp Ripley, a jog around the track at Running Aces, and fun in the sun here at Oakdale Summerfest. Wow, I hope you have a fun time this summer too, and I do thank you for watching Local Image.